Hello, family. That's right. It's the time you've been waiting for. Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, everybody, it is definitely open enrollment. AEP has kicked off, and our premier sponsors is joining us today once again, Zing Health. Everyone, stay tuned. We'll be right back to greet you from Zing Health here on Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. All right, everyone. God bless you. Thank you for joining us today. This is the time you've been waiting for. Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, as we mentioned, National Open Enrollment Annual AEP, what they call Medicare Maze, all of that. We are in high swing right now. And our partners, of course, is none other than Zing Health. And I am very honored to bring back to our platform our returning guest, Ms. Sadia Selby. Woo! And none other than Luana Peters. The champ is here. Woo-hoo! The champ is here. Luana Peters is here. And let me tell you, we are going to be impactful. We want to hear your questions and comments through our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Woo! We got a lot of room to cover. But we also must mention this. If you definitely need to get information, our premier partners, as I mentioned, are joining us today. It is by no means that you should not be informed. We are here to serve, to inform, and educate. We are not selling anything. We're informing and educating our community. So if you have a block club, if you have a resource fair, if you have the red hat meeting, the pink hat meeting, Veterans Affairs, resource fairs, please call our friends at Zing Health, or definitely do yourself a favor and call us at the Senior Talk office. We'll make that connection for you at 312-428-6919. Well, I am so excited. We have had a whirlwind of a time, let me tell you. And thank you for those who are tuning in right now through Facebook. We appreciate you. So let's get to the meat of why we're here today. We recapped on last week with Sadia. She introduced the open enrollment process. But also one thing that we stuck on and that we really try to relate to our community of listeners and those who are watching us is that Zing Health is based on the premise of health equity. So if we could, let's recap, Sadia, and then I want you to introduce our the champ, as I call her, Miss Luana Peters, if you would. Go ahead, dear.
I think so. Last week we were just talking about the period, annual enrollment period. We're in annual enrollment, and through Medicare, the annual enrollment period is very significant because this is a time where individuals can actually review their coverage options, change their coverage options, and learn about different plans that they may be interested in. Zing Healthcare is a Medicare Advantage plan. And we have Medicare advisors ready to assist you with your plan options and choosing the right plan. And we have a line open right now. If you can call 1-844-937-9464 or 1-844-YES-ZING. We have Medicare advisors ready to assist you with helping you to navigate the Medicare maze and choose the right plan. We talked about Zing Health last week, and one of the things about Zing Health is it's a physician-led organization. It's a co-founded by an arm of the American Medical Association, which is Health 2047. And we are really excited about all of the supplemental benefits that we're able to offer. And most of our plans carry a zero premium, but we definitely want to get into the meat of all of that. And I will introduce to you Luana Peters. She's definitely a member of Zing Health, and I'll let her kind of make her introduction in terms of what she's done in the past.
Well, let me do this.
Luana, I don't want to. She has a very extensive background.
Absolutely. So as I always say, when I see her name, we almost screamed when we saw each other at the Black Women's Expo. We have been in communication for over 10 plus years, but we saw each other, and let me tell you, I just want to do a proper introduction. Um, for someone who is advocating for the right things that help humanity move forward, you would see the name Luana Peters next to that. She is by no means a stranger to advocating and getting things done. And more importantly, she's just a dynamite woman. And I'm so happy to have you with us. So I want to show you something. Let's just recap our Black Women's Expo experience. And then we're going to talk about the panel. And then we're going to talk more about your experience as a change agent, if you would, or an ambassador for Zing Health. Everyone stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right. Well, that was a short recap. Of course, as I told everyone, we were collectively at the Black Women's Expo this year for 2021, and we are still living through a pandemic. We are on the brighter side of things prayerfully, and we are so excited to bring a change agent. I just adore this woman. I've just seen her in work and action and fighting for the things that keep us more in tune with the better quality of life that we deserve. So who other would that be than Miss Luana Peters? Welcome to Senior Talk. How are you doing today, champ?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful to see my beautiful sisters, but at least on the camera. But I think the key thing that we're here for today is that I'm in the Medicare age. I'm on Medicare, and prior to Zing coming into existence, I was I had Medicare, I had a supplement, and I had to also have a pharmacy. So I had three different policies I was paying. The base that you pay for your Medicare, for I think yeah, that's Part B. Yes,
Yep.
it takes something out of your Social Security.
Yes, your
Part B.
premium.
But I was paying $200 for the supplement and $115 for prescription, and I still didn't have dental. I didn't have hearing, and I really didn't have home health or home assistance. Now I can tell you, Zing now has home assistance. I have a bad back and a bad hip. Mopping and vacuuming is a problem for me. Guess what? There's someone comes into my house now and does my, well, and they do what I ask them to do in terms of assisting me. So that's a tremendous benefit. But going back, I was spending all of this money. I didn't have all of those. I didn't have hearing, dental, vision, didn't have transportation. No one was calling to check on me. And with Zing, it is about the total person and what enables you to be as healthy as you possibly can. I think that is the message that we get from insurance company, and it's unusual for an insurance provider. Zing is a Medicare insurance provider, but I have dental, vision, hearing. We got the papa, just the person who comes into your home now. They call you up, and you get 30 hours free. You get over-the-counter benefits. Um, and a tremendous amount of health information that is about your wellness, what makes you better, what you can do to empower yourself to be as healthy as you possibly can. And I've been in the health policy world for a long time. I'm excited about this company and this product and what it means to the wellness of persons that have as much gray hair as I have.
Well, you're considered someone we call people getting better with age. It's a stretch of words,
Right.
but you're getting better with age. Let's use that term.
But it is
So,
exciting. And
absolutely.
let me ask, one of the things that people are concerned about with Advantage programs, because it is an HMO, it has a network. So people are concerned about, well, if I join that, then I've got to stay in my network. Well, they work to get your physicians and the hospital that you attend in the network if they're not already there. In addition to that, people say, well, when I need some medical assistance, they're going to have to get approval, and that's going to take a long time. Not true. Not true.
Hmm.
Last December, I was diagnosed with, and I will say it because I think it's important for people to understand that a diagnosis does not mean that that's the end. I was diagnosed with a tumor in my brain, and that the whole process of approvals and so forth, I did not miss one appointment, and they were going very rapidly. Did not miss anything with any approvals. All the approvals was right on time. The doctor sent it in. Zing would call me within 12 hours and say, "We got the request. It's approved. The appointment is scheduled." So it has to do with the company and the commitment as to whether or not processes hold up anything. And Zing is not about that. It is really about keeping us as well as possible.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. Having a extensive career in health policy,
Mhm.
how does the visibility of Sing being new to our community, how will we help to educate those who are just still, um, how do you say, satisfied with the glass ceiling of what they've received in the past? You know what I mean? So how do we
Stuck
open
on
up the visibility in our eyes
Yeah,
or
stuck on
our
name
third
brand.
eye? Yeah,
Yeah, there are people who are stuck on name brands, and I have one of those name brands who never, when was spending all that money, I had a name brand company. I won't call the name. I never received one call well, no, I did receive one call because I was 2 weeks late on a premium. That's the only call that I ever received from that company.
hmm,
So I think we're going to all have to share the message that this is a company that cares about the wellness of our people. It has worked hard to design a product that meets a wide variety of needs, that's not just about the doctor and the stethoscope, though they have that very, underhand, but it is about the total person. And we have to keep finding all possible means of spreading that message.
absolutely. Well, one of the key things that I know that we were on the panel for the Black Women's Expo, and we're still working on multiple platforms to get the community word out about Zing Health, is that when COVID hit, Zing did not stop. They didn't close their doors. They jumped on the bandwagon. They kept the calls going. They provide the masks. They're talking now on their social platforms about vaccines and vaccinations and just keeping everybody abreast. So, what does that mean to someone you're in a pandemic? A lot of things are by themselves.
Yeah.
Isolation was a key factor, but having that well-being check or someone calling you and
Every
offer,
week,
talk
during
about
lockdown, every week they call to check on me. And that's an insurance company. This is not a primary care. This is your Medicare insurance. Now, I defy anyone else. Tell me another Medicare insurance who called you every week to find out how you were doing.
Not even, not even.
Absolutely outstanding service.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really important to understand, someone with Luanna Peters' background, and for some who don't know, she was the former deputy governor and deputy chief of staff for the state of Illinois. And so she's familiar with several different policies, in the political arena, especially in healthcare, because this was her area of interest. And so it's important to note that she's not here just stating things. She's stating from an experiential knowledge base of what she's experienced with Zing. And I'm so happy to hear her experience, because these are all of the things that we put in place as a leadership team, because all of us, Dr. Whitaker, our CEO, is a medical doctor who has been a doctor in our communities for a number of years. So he understands some of the social determinants of health that impact certain communities. And he also, from a provider standpoint, understands how carriers and insurance impact the provider experience, and
Mhm.
then from the agent experience. So we look at all three of those things. We not only look at the member, we look at the provider, we look at the insurance agents who are representing Zing Health, and we're trying to eliminate pain points that our members have experienced maybe in the past with other carriers or other types of coverage. We take all of those things into consideration to ensure that we're serving the whole person. We don't stop just at medical. We have benefits that will basically assist the member, as Luana is saying, the things outside of medical. She needed services in her home that had necessarily nothing to do with medical, but she needed those services. And there are a lot of resources available because we've developed all of our plans to be extremely robust in the market. We recently saw a survey of how our plans were faring in the market, and they were right up there with all of the big name carriers in terms of the impact that we're making in the market. And so I'm really excited about that. This particular time period is a time where people should be looking at and evaluating their health plans.
Mhm.
We were going to talk about ensuring that you choose the right plan. And I'm glad Dr. Peters said that, initially she had a supplemental plan and she had three premiums that she had to pay. And a lot of times it's important for individuals to understand all of those out-of-pocket costs associated with the health plans that they choose. And I would say that Medicare beneficiaries have three different options if they did not receive any insurance from their employer plan, if they don't have any additional coverage outside of Medicare. Medicare covers Part A and Part B. That's your hospital coverage and your outpatient services that you would normally get, such as doctor's visits, specialist visits. But it does not cover prescriptions. It does not cover. It doesn't cover Part D prescriptions. It does not cover additional benefits that most Medicare beneficiaries need, like dental, vision, hearing, other things like over-the-counter items for like vitamins, pain medications that you would go get on a regular basis from a pharmacy. Our plans cover transportation as well. And so there are so many benefits that are offered outside of Medicare. So when you're thinking about, evaluating your plan, make sure, number one, that you evaluate your costs, because
Mhm.
that's going to be extremely important. If you only have original Medicare, you need to understand that there is no limit on how much you have to pay out of pocket with original Medicare. So your costs never end. However, in a Medicare Advantage plan, your costs are capped every year. And once you meet those annual maximum out of pockets, such as if it's $4,200, if you ever met that in a calendar year, your original Medicare benefits are covered at 100% for the remainder of that year. And so there are several benefits to understanding, what coverage is available to you, what coverage you need in terms of additional coverage, in terms of benefits that you're going to need that are not covered under Medicare. And so that's why we're having this discussion today,
Yes,
because it is that time to evaluate those benefits.
absolutely. So let me ask you this. Knowing that we are, what, 2 weeks in,
Yes.
how has it been? Have there been, what are there any questions that you could bring that are more common that are coming up since we started October 15th? So
Yes.
what can you say you've heard or anything that's just commonly coming to your phone lines that people are asking about?
Um, First, I want to dispel because some people think that if they enroll into a Medicare Advantage plan, that they lose their Medicare. That is not the case. In order to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, you have to have Medicare Part A and Part B at all times to be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans can be HMOs, they can be PPOs, they can be private fee for service, they can be point of service plans that allow you to go out of network. That's why it's very important for you to evaluate your coverage, because we have different types of plans. We also have special needs plans for people who have chronic illnesses, or people who have both Medicare and Medicaid that are offered in certain service areas. So that's why you need to ensure that you evaluate, number one, your medical costs, your medical care, and what services you need. Because additional service, there are a lot of services that Medicare doesn't necessarily cover. But just because Medicare doesn't cover it doesn't mean that you cannot get the benefit. You can actually get the benefit, and you need to understand and educate, be educated about how those benefits can be offered.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play the commercial that tells people that Zing Health is turning 65. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the chronic illnesses, because one thing that we didn't tap into, well, you know what? I always go ahead of myself. Let's play this quick break. Everyone stay tuned. You're watching Senior Talk with Claire Hubbard. Our special guest and our premier partner is none other than Zing Health. Everyone stay tuned.
Zing Health is turning 65 and dancing the night away. Zing is getting your extra steps in. Zing is your trusted partner helping you navigate the Medicare maze. At Zing Health, we listen patiently to your health needs, personally guide you to the best Medicare Advantage plan, help you maximize your benefits so you can start optimizing your health today. Are you turning 65? Amazing starts here. Explore how Zing's Medicare Advantage plans help you feel amazing. Call 844-ZING for us or go to myzinghealth.tv.
All right. So that was a beautiful commercial. It couldn't have been any more clear cut. But what I want to talk about too, we're talking about the complete patient. I just turned 50. I wish I could get Zing Health. Seriously. Because who doesn't need dental and hearing, et cetera, et cetera? But I'm doing okay on the hearing part, as we know right now. But one of the things that I like about Zing is that you pay attention to the health awareness calendar. I've seen things about colon cancer, chronic illnesses, and what we can all agree and raise our hand on nationwide is that when COVID hit, we put our disparities behind us. People were still suffering with dementia, diabetes, high blood pressure. We put all our disparities behind, just trying to make it to the next day. And so we kind of took away from our everyday regimen. But Zing stepped in because you're caring for the whole part. Who can think about, like Ms. Peters said, to have in-home service and customized to my needs? That is so beyond what you have to do. But it's an extension. That's where the health equity comes in, because you're dealing with the whole person. So how do we step in and get other people to realize, take a look at Zing Health, because it's working for so many people and we got more money to reach. And as you say, get away from the name brands, get the resources, do the research for yourself.
Right. And look at the independent studies. It's really about education, and we try to educate people about Medicare. That's the first thing, because some people don't understand the costs associated with Medicare. And if you don't understand the costs associated with Medicare or understand how Medicare actually works, you may not realize that you do need additional coverage outside of Medicare. And so something as simple as, ensuring that you create a maximum out of pocket for all of your medical services, that's extremely important, because a couple of hospitalizations in 1 year could really, 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 almost bankrupt, individuals, depending upon how long that hospital stay is and, other services associated with that hospital stay. So Medicare Advantage plans that's one of the first things that Medicare Advantage plans do, is it caps the out-of-pocket costs. Mm-hmm. And that's extremely important, especially for Medicare beneficiaries, because we know that, at that point, most people are on fixed incomes. And so you want to make sure that, the plan that you have, you understand the costs associated with those plans. Another thing is coverage. You want to understand the different coverage limits that Medicare has. Medicare covers hospital and doctors, but you also need to understand that, Medicare doesn't cover everything, and it doesn't pay necessarily 100%. So again, it's about educating yourself about your coverage, the coverage that you currently have. Now, because you asked about two things that people call about. So I want to also dispel the myth that Medicare Advantage is not going to cover what Medicare covers. Medicare Advantage plans have been instituted by Medicare. So what Medicare did is hired private insurance companies, just like they hire private insurance companies to administer Part D, as in drugs. They also hire private insurance companies to administer Part C. And sometimes with Medicare Advantage plans, they have a zero premium. And people say, oh, if it's a zero premium, it must not mean that it's good coverage. The reason that it can be a zero premium is that Medicare beneficiaries has paid into the Medicare system for at least 10 years or 40 quarters. So the money that they've paid into Medicare, the money that they continue to pay into Medicare through their Part B premiums, some people pay Part A premiums. These premiums go to fund, and what they've paid into Medicare, they actually go to fund Part C. So it's not free. These are benefits that you're entitled to by right of
That's
paying
right.
into Medicare. So these
That's
are not free benefits that we're just giving away
right.
haphazardly. These are benefits that they're actually entitled to. And so
Absolutely.
it's important to understand and kind of dispel some of the myths that you hear about Medicare Advantage or Medicare prescription drug plans. You must pick up a Medicare Part D plan if you do not have any other credible coverage, because if not, Medicare will penalize you if you do not pick that coverage up at the time that you're eligible to. And so we definitely are using this platform to educate Medicare beneficiaries and caregivers who are taking care of their loved ones who may have Medicare. It is worth actually getting in touch with a Medicare advisor at Zing Health to understand, whether or not you need additional coverage or if the coverage that you currently have is sufficient. And we also have a website address that you can go to, www.yeszing.com. And so I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that.
Absolutely. So we are going to be closing out this show. It's been very fruitful. I would like, I always just call it the people's check. Dr. Peters, what would you offer to our listeners, those who are hearing some things that are bells and whistles? I mean, if we could stop at dental and be done, but they do the whole scope of the human being because they believe in people getting better with age, like
Right.
yourself. So what is that
Right.
mission, or what is that vocal, what are your comments to those listeners and future clients of Zing Health at this moment? What would you like to share with them?
Don't hesitate. Contact Zing Health and really spend some time with. Don't be intimidated about contacting the benefit consultants because they will not push you. That's the one thing. They will not enroll you if the plan does not fit your need. Be clear on that. That is a company policy. So don't hesitate. Don't be intimidated. Contact Zing. Spend some time with benefit consultants, and they will spend time with you. I know. I introduced a minister called me and wanted his son-in-law to meet with a benefit consultant. The benefit consultant knew right away that that Zing was not a good fit. But he spent 6 weeks helping that young man find the right plan for himself, which
Hmm.
was not Zing. And he said he knew it from the beginning. But that's the kind of commitment to serving people that this company has. So don't be intimidated. Call, spend some time. They will walk through with you what your needs are, what your expectations are, what plans are available, and find what's best for you.
And let me say, I'm very excited to know and love Zing. We've been in the community. We have much more work to do. We are currently serving what states, Sadia? Tell them, because some people, my friends, and we're constantly like,
So yes, we have plans across 3 different states. We're in Illinois, and we're in Boone, Cook, DeKalb, DuPage, Kane, Kankakee, Lake, McHenry, Ogle, Will, and Winnebago counties for Illinois.
all
And
right.
then for Indiana, we're in Allen, Lake, and Marion counties. And then in the Michigan area, we're in Genesee, which is the Flint area, in Oakland County, and Wayne County, which is the Detroit and greater Metro Detroit area.
All right. Well, we got some work to do. I got plenty of people in Detroit. Okay. Hello, hello. So
Hello.
as we said, we're growing, everyone. This is not where the limit is. We are in the Midwest. We mentioned Indiana, Michigan, and Illinois. But let me tell you, if it's not for you, share it with your community. If you're satisfied with what you have, congratulations, you're ahead of the game. But for those who are just searching, I mean, this is a maze, very clear. It's a maze. The understanding A, B, C, D, what I got, I don't know. I carry the card, do I use it? And more importantly, as they both have spoken, you are entitled to these benefits. They belong, you've already paid for them pretty much. So why not take advantage of it? So again, our premier partners for this Medicare Maze education series, and as well as informing you, is none other than Zing Health. Their mission is on the premise of health equity, serving you completely and whole. So today our special guest has been Luana Peters, as well as Sadia Selvey. They'll be joining us again in November. Let me tell you, please get your comments and questions. If you are someone who is listening and you have social groups, you need presentations, you need Zoom meetings, they can come to you, or they will even do it via a Zoom or in person. Of course, we know safety is always a factor, so we're still wearing our mask. But please get the information. It's nothing more that we can ask our community is to be informed. Let's start there. And you're talking to experts who know it. So, tell us how long you've been in the business, girl, because you just flow with it. I'm like, woo-hoo! I know a player who has got a
She is an expert in this.
That's right.
I've been in the healthcare industry for 21 years, and I've been in the Medicare marketing space for 16.
Okay, my hat's to you. Let me say. So, Miss Peters, you are still in the game. You're not giving up. I don't care what they tell you. You still on top. Do you have on roller skates? Because I know you're normally real busy. What can we expect in the future for you? How can we support the efforts of the health policies for older Americans? And where can I sit and be a part of what you're doing?
Well, first is the evolution or the promotion of Zing, because Zing is not just about the insurance. The insurance is a piece of it. But I've known Dr. Whitaker for now probably 16 years or so, and so the issue of policies that advance the wellness and the well-being of our community is near and dear to his heart. Mm-hmm. So when we grow a company like Zing, we are growing a partner with muscle, with ability, with capability, with staff, with resources that can really be a full partner in moving us forth in a lot of policy issues that have value to us and the wellness of our community.
And I just want to make it clear that Zing is for everyone. Anyone who has Medicare Part A and Part B, we are looking to serve you.
Absolutely. So everyone, as I mentioned, you can go to Senior Talk Media. You'll also find us on Senior Talk Podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and TuneIn. We everywhere. We get the message out. And as we say, if you're someone who is tuning in, we have a lot of senior social groups who are watching us. I'm not going to call it churches out, but we'll get that another time. Just ask for informational. Get an expert to give you information. That's where we fail because of lack of knowledge. And what your friend may have not be what you need. So sometimes it can be a group setting, but don't always apply. Well, my girlfriend got it. It may be her situation personally. So everything is not for everyone, but get what you need and share with others. Talk to our experts at Zing Health. And of course, you can visit www.yeszing.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So everyone, it's been a pleasure serving you. We have more work to do in the community. And if I could, I want to give a special shout out to the man himself, Stephen Martin. Woo! We love you. Stephen worked hard to make us happen, brings the best of experts. And we hope to get some more panelists. Dr. Terry Mason, who was in these streets. We appreciate you. You can find his broadcast on WVON. And he's also a Zing ambassador, as well as Senior Talk with Claire Hubbard. We got work to do, and we're here to serve you. So as we say in closing, in complete darkness, we are all the same. It is only our knowledge and wisdom that separate us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. I've been your host and granddaughter in the community, Claire Hubbard, and we will see you next time.